Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm doing a video of the different types of astrology readings that I offer. So if you came to this video, you're interested in astrology reading, and I kind of want to break down each one so you kind of understand which one is the best for you personally, and meets your needs as best as you can. So yeah, and I'll go over like pricing. I tend to do based on a one-to-one basis, so the pricing can change. I do have some general baselines for pricing. I haven't really figured out what I'm going to do for different different sorts of readings. Most of them tend to be around the same price range. But I'll go over those as we get further in the video. If you're interested, I have in the the description down below, I have all the timestamps for each type of video explaining those types of readings, those types of what it would be used for, what it would be not used for, stuff like that. And yeah, so let's get started. So the most common reading that I am doing on my channel is the natal reading. So what that means is it kind of takes a snapshot of your birth. And I need to know three things to be able to do this reading. I need to know your birth day, obviously, your birth time, and your birthplace. If you have just the birth day and the place and not the time, it's going to be difficult for me to read in a more thorough way than I would, because without having that birth time, what's going to happen is it's going to take a whole dimension away from what I can read. The first two is going to be kind of like a 2D dimensional or a two-dimensional sort of process, where if I just have the birthday in place, I'll be able to kind of get a general feeling for the things you have to learn. I can really only look at aspects and planets, and that's pretty much it. But I can't look at house systems, which is what you would get if you were to add a time to it. So it's really, really important that you have a birth time. If not, we can kind of go around and kind of figure out what may be your birth time if you have a general idea, and I can kind of, depending on the time and the different things and degrees and stuff, I can kind of I can what's the word, like approximate a time. I can approximate a time for you, but that's not the best thing to do, because I don't really want to lead you astray and kind of tell you were born at 9:30 when you're born at 9:45. You know what I mean? But it's better to know like a general idea for that. But anywho, so with that reading, I typically do $50 for this reading. That's typical for most of my readings, is $50. With that, it's going to be a 45-minute video to an hour-long video. You're allowed to answer ask three questions of things you want me to focus on, and I will go thoroughly into those things specifically. If you don't have any questions and you just want just a general reading without me or without kind of directing me what you want to talk about, I'll just kind of talk and figure out what is the best approach to your chart, what I feel needs to be spoken about. What energies and stuff. So there's that. The thing with that too is that with pricing, as I said, it is $50 as of right now. That can change, that can go up, that can go down, depending on sales that I want to do, depending on demand. So I do want to kind of do consultations with each client before I move forward in making a reading, because I want to definitely be able to understand where their budget is, understand what their demand is, understand what they really want to get out of this, and then I can kind of direct you to what sort of reading would be best for you. As for right now, this is the most common one, so this is the one most people are going to get. It's the one for most beginner astrologers that are going to use this. So that's that. I think that's all I have to say about this one. But yeah, if you guys are interested, feel free to comment down below. I also have my Instagram and my Snapchat linked down below, so if you're interested in following me there, you can, and we can communicate that and set up a sort of consultation to see what you really need for your particular situation, what you're going through. So I think I hit on everything. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully you guys get a reading from me. This is my most commonly ordered one, so I will definitely be doing more in the future. So I'm super excited about this video. I'm super excited to give back to my community and give back to the astrology community as well, because I feel like everyone has a voice and everyone has something important to say, and there's so much that I have learned throughout my studies in astrology to be able to give to you. So I hope you pick this reading. If not, there's plenty more coming up, so feel free to check those out as well, depending on what you'd like. But yeah, let's go on to the next one. All right, so this reading is going to be a synastry reading. So what a synastry chart and synastry reading is it's with two people. So with this, what we typically do, what we do need is we're going to need the birthday, birthplace, and birth time of two individuals. So I'm going to need two birthdays, two birthplaces, and two birth times. Because essentially what you do in a synastry chart is you take the two natal charts, the two birth charts of these two individuals, and you put them together and you see how their energies interact with each other, how their placements, how their planets, how their house systems interact with each other. The thing I want to add as well is that it's really important to understand the birth time and know that you need to have that and have that as accurate as possible, because without the birth time, it's essentially like going from reading a 3D chart to a 2D chart. And I really need to have that third dimension to really get a feel for your energy and get a feel for the different aspects and things that are going on in your chart. However, I can still do the reading without birth times. It's a little bit more difficult. If one has a birth time, one doesn't, I can still do that. I can still work off of that too. But I just want to let you know it's not going to be as thorough. It's not going to be as pinpoint accurate as it would be with birth time for both individuals. But typically people do relationship synastry charts for people that are dating, for potential mates, for mothers and children or fathers and children, any sort of thing. You can also do synastry charts with specific dates. So like if you have a really big audition, or if you have like a really big thing coming up, that you like an interview or something, and you really want to see how those energies are kind of working together, you can do that in a synastry chart. Another thing people do as well is they'll do synastry with a particular celebrity as well. That's pretty common. They will do, like if they have a really big connection to a certain celebrity, they will do a synastry chart with that celebrity, and I would be able to tell you more so how that celebrity impacts you and stuff like that. It's not going to be as much of a personal connection unless you're really close with that celebrity, but it is going to be it's just going to help you understand how your energy mixes with that other person and how you affect each other. You can also do a composite chart as well. That's going to be the next video that I do, or the next section. So a composite chart, I'll explain that there, but you can also do that for celebrities and dates as well. So as for pricing, what I typically do is $50 for a 45-minute to hour-long video. Depending on your budget and your needs and stuff like that, it can change. It can go up, it can go down if I want to have sales, stuff like that. But what I do want to do, if you are interested in astrology reading, what I'd like to do is go down in the comments, message me down there, or follow me on Instagram and Snapchat, and we can speak more about it on there. And I really would like to have a consultation with you personally, whether it's you alone or you with this other person in the synastry chart. I would like to kind of consult with you and see what needs you have, where your level is in understanding on astrology, so I know what I need to explain more thoroughly, or I need to not explain anything at all, because I really do want to make sure I get as much information to you, specific to you, as possible. So yeah, that's pretty much it on the synastry chart. The next one I have going is the composite chart, so let's get started on that one. Alright, so this is the composite chart. So if you are interested in this reading, what I would recommend, well, first of all, what I need for this reading is going to be a birthday, a birthplace, and a birth time for an individual. If I don't have the birth time, what's going to happen is it's going to be essentially like me trying to read from 3D to 2D. So it's going to be a little bit more limited. It's not going to be as comprehensive. It's not going to be as pinpoint accurate as it would be without a birth time. That being said, I also need another birthplace and birthday, not necessarily a time, because the composite charts are typically going to be used, they can be used for relationships. So so this person with the 3 is going to be you. This can be either a person with the same thing, the birthday, place, and time, or it can be a date, which would be like, just a birth, like a place mainly just a date and a place. Potentially you can add a time as well. It's going to be more accurate with that. The reason people tend to do composite charts, they can do it for relationship composites, which essentially what that means is that it's going to combine the two energies of those two charts, the two individuals, and it will tell you what those two together are supposed to do. So with that, it can be a date as well. People have used it for dates, but typically you use it for relationships. Like if you're really unclear as to where the relationship is going to go or what goals you guys have or what you really need to learn from the relationship, composite charts are good for that. Synastry is good as well. You can do both. It's fine either way. But with the composite chart, that's most commonly for like two people understanding what direction they go in, or a date as well, like an important date, like an audition or an interview or moving or something like that. So that's that chart. So that's another option for you. As for pricing, I think I might have already said this, but what I traditionally do is I do $50 for 45 minutes to an hour-long video reading. What I'd like to do before I do your chart is I'd like to have a consultation with you and kind of understand where you're coming from in regards to budget, in regards to understanding of astrology, because I want to make sure that if I need to thoroughly explain something in a very basic way, I want to be able to do that for you. Whereas if you have a very large understanding of astrology, I want to be able to give you value that would be able to work just for you, and be as thorough or as not thorough as I need to be. So with that being said, that's kind of the best way that I want to do it. So I want to do like a 5 to 10 minute consultation for you, to be able to speak with you about your needs, what you would like, what you're looking to get out of it, what stuff like that. And with that being said, you can just contact me and I can tell you what kind of astrology reading would be beneficial for you and what route would be the best for what exactly you're looking to find out and understand. So that's it on composite charts. If you're interested in that, like I said, reach out to my social media or comment on the video, and then we can set up a consultation call and we can go from there. So yeah, there's that one. All right, so this is the solar return chart. So solar return is very interesting chart to do. I actually love doing solar return charts. They're like one of my favorites. So essentially what a solar return chart is, what I need for the solar return chart is I need your natal chart, which is your birthday, birthplace, and birth time. If I don't have the birth time, it's going to be difficult for me to read as extensively as I would, because it's going to be taking it from 3D to 2D. So it's not going to be something that I can really get a full big picture on all the time if I don't have that birth time. And that applies to any of the readings that you do get. It doesn't just have to be with the solar return chart. So a solar return chart, what it is, essentially what it means is that when the sun, solar, returns to where it was when you were born. Essentially, it's like a birthday reading. That's the best way to kind of explain it. So what it does is it'll give you an idea or a snapshot of what is going to happen growth-wise for you in the next 12 months from your birthday. You know, your birthday could be 2 months ago and you could still get a solar return chart. You don't have to have it happen on your birthday or near your birthday. But what it is, or what I would need as well, besides obviously your natal chart, which is the birthplace, birthday, and birth time, I also need to know where you were on your birthday, because that affects how the house systems and all of those things and planetary positions are at when you reach that next age and when the sun returns to when it is. So that's important to know as well. I need to know those two things. And I'll be able to give you like an idea of how the next year is going to turn out and what you're really going to learn from, what your focus is for that year, what sort of energies you need to bring in, what sort of things might happen in that year, stuff like that. So that's the solar return chart. Typically for my readings, they are $50 for a 45-minute video to an hour-long video explaining all of the things that in this particular chart would happen in the next year, things you can look forward to in the next year. With that being said, pricing can vary. It can go down if I'm interested in doing a sale. It can go up if I'm interested in, expanding my price and stuff like that, and feel, that I need more, I would like more financial compensation for my time and energy. Also, with that being said, if you are interested in a reading, what I would like to do is I would like to do like a 5 to 10 minute consultation call with you so that I understand a couple of things. So I understand what exactly you would like, what exactly you're looking for, so I can kind of direct you in the right direction for the right chart, or your astrological understanding. So the things that you already know about astrology, your basis, so that I know what I need, if I need to speak in a very basic term and explain, you know, planets and energies around planets to you, or if I can kind of get into the more nitty gritty and speak on deeper and more advanced things for you, astrologically speaking. So those are the two things I really want to do, but I do want to have a consultation with you if you're interested in any of these readings. So if you are, comment down below or reach out to me on social media, whether it's Snapchat or Instagram, and then we can kind of move further with that, and we can schedule a conference or a consultation call, and I can see what needs you really have, what things you really need to learn, and what chart works best for you. So that's the solar return chart. That is that one. Let's go on to the next one. All right, so I'm going to kind of put these two together, but I have a Venus/Mars return chart option as well. So what that is, if you didn't watch the solar return video or section, that's okay, but the Venus and Mars return chart, what that essentially means, it's not as impactful as the solar return. So if you've already gotten a solar return and know how to read a solar return chart, and then you want to try Venus or Mars return chart, that's great too. This is a little bit different. So the things I'm going to need for a Venus or Mars return chart, firstly, I'm going to need your birthday, place, and time. If I don't have the time, it's essentially going to be like me reading from 3D to 2D. So it's not going to be as thorough. It's not going to be as pinpoint accurate as it would if I had a birth time. That being said, what I also need to know for Venus and Mars return, I need to know kind of where you were throughout the year. What I would do for the Venus and Mars, it's not the same as the solar return. So I need to know where you were on a specific like date or month or time, because what the Venus or Mars return is essentially when Venus returns to where it was in your natal chart, or when Mars returns to where it was in your natal chart. When that happens, Venus, for example, will show you kind of the things that you're going to value in the next year, and the things that are going to be developing for you in regards to relationships, love, value, stuff like that. The Mars return chart is going to show you the things that you need to focus on, the direction you need to go, the things you have to assert yourself on, and things that you have to really like focus on, right? The Mars return chart is it's also gonna show you your drives, your motivations for the next coming year, as well as your sexual relationships as well, similar to Venus. So with this, I can do Venus or Mars. I think what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to kind of put them together as a Venus and Mars return for $50. As for pricing with $50, it's a 45-minute to hour-long video. Granted, the pricing can change depending on if I want to do a sale or if I want to kind of up my prices depending on the particular client. In addition to that, what I really want to do before I do any reading with you is I want to have a consultation call. So if you have my Instagram or Snapchat down below, reach out to those on there or comment on the video, and I'll reach out to you via email, and we can schedule a consultation call. Because essentially what I want to do is I want to make sure I understand your particular astrological understanding, as well as kind of what you're looking to understand, looking to learn, looking to know, so I can direct you in the right direction for which particular chart reading or chart readings would be beneficial for you. So yeah, so that's pretty much it on the Venus and Mars return charts. If you're interested in that, like I said, follow those directions that I just said about that, and we can go from there. All right, so this is my one of my favorite chart readings to do. This is my Saturn return reading. So what this is, if you're new to astrology, what it is essentially Saturn was at a place when you were born, right? And when it returns to that place that was the same position when you were born is when you're going to go through your Saturn return. So there's a lot of karma with that, a lot of lessons with that. There's a lot of things going on that are going to affect your growth, and it's like crunch time, essentially. It's crunch time. You're working through a lot. You're becoming who you're supposed to be. You're learning the lessons you have to learn depending on your house placement, sign, all that stuff. With that being said, the stuff that I need for this chart I need your birthplace, your birthday, and your birth time. If I don't have the birth time, it's going to be essentially like me reading from 3D to 2D, so it's going to be difficult for me to really get a thorough picture of your particular lessons that you need to learn with the Saturn return. And it's also going to be difficult for me to be as accurate as I can be. So it is very important to understand your birth time. If you don't have an accurate birth time, I can kind of guesstimate, or we can get kind of close. If you have any basis of it, like, oh, it's approximately 9:30, like that's something we can kind of work with. But that's a whole different conversation. With that being said as well, the thing that I really want to do prior to you getting any sort of chart reading from me is I want to do a consultation with you. The reason for that is because I really want to understand a couple of things. I want to know what your personal needs are, what exactly you're looking to get out of it, the things you really want to learn. And because of that, I want to make sure I can direct you to the right astrology chart reading that I offer. Secondly, I want to also understand your astrological knowledge and understanding so that I know what terms to use, how thorough I need to be in understanding and explaining the basics to you, and also I want to know what like way I can speak about how deep I can go into explaining some things. So that's those things that I really want to do. If you're interested in reading with me, feel free to comment down below your email or whatever, and I'll DM you and we can go on that. Or I have my Snapchat and Instagram down there, so you can reach out to me on there and we can discuss further and kind of set up a consultation call and figure out what exactly we can do to work with you. But typically, I don't know if I already said this, but typically my readings are $50. They can depend on range in regards to how I'm feeling and what your specific budget is as well, which is why I want to do a consultation per client. But yeah, that's pretty much it on the Saturn return video. Yeah, so if you're interested in that, like I said, follow the directions that I just said and comment and reach out to me on social media and stuff like that, and we can schedule a call. So that is my updated reading options that I have. And I know I already said this in pretty much every single section that I talked about, but as for pricing and things like that, pricing typically for me is $50 per 45-minute to hour-long video. We can discuss payment, whether it's Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, Zelle, whatever, all those different things. We have different options to get that money, those monies done. I do want to do consultation calls prior to doing any video recording for you. What that pretty much means is that I want to connect with you, understanding your needs, your budget, the different things that you understand about astrology, where your level is, so I know what terms I should discuss more at a different level. So I can really also direct you into the correct chart reading for what your needs are and what you're looking to understand and learn about. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I'm really excited to do these chart readings for you guys. I cannot wait to really give back to the community that I've learned so much from. I have studied astrology for about 10 years now, so I have a vast understanding about it. And I'm really excited to give back. Like I said, I cannot wait to connect with you guys and be able to explain myself and explain yourself and give you a better understanding and more self-awareness to your particular lessons that you need to learn, because that's what's helped me through with astrology. Is I've learned so much through astrology, and I just want to help people learn that as well. So that being said, guys, I love you guys. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe. I do new astrology videos all the time, and I want to really connect with you guys. So feel free to comment and just explain your position, and we can set up a conference call or a consultation. So I love you guys. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.